Welcome
to
Masters of Music Podcast. Hi, I'm Voldemort.
I'm Derek.
And this is episode 24. Episode 20!
Jack Bauer, what the hell are you doing calling me right now? We're just about to start filming episode 24.
Look, I don't know what you want me to say. We misjudged your emotional state.
All right. What's the status on Mitch Perry? Is he going to do the podcast today or not?
They're giving him a 50-50 shot. But even if he comes through, they don't know how long it's going to be till he talks.
Damn it. We're running out of time. We have 24 hours to get this podcast done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to take this one to Miami.
Please like and subscribe, guys. It helps out a lot. And also, we want to thank our friends at Lewitt Mics for these awesome mics. These are super sick.
Yeah, Lewitt. These are incredible. They're the podcast microphones.
Yeah, I think we sound way better now.
Finally.
Oh, yeah. This week we have
Mitch Perry, an incredible fluid guitar player. He's played with bands such as Graham Nash, Heaven, The Sweet, Talus with Billy Sheehan, and so much more. He's seriously an incredible guitar player and has the best tone I've heard in years.
Yeah, and he just released a brand new album
with the Mitch Perry group. It's entitled Music Box. It's incredible, and it's all the links to it are below here. Go click on it. It's really good.
Yeah, Spotify and YouTube and everything, guys.
Yes.
Follow him. He's badass.
Yes.
But we gotta move on because it's time for Music News. You guys got it?
Hello.
Yes, that's what people say.
Well, in a very cool interview with Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics, he says that he's never had vocal lessons before, a vocal coach. He's learned from guys like U2, David Bowie, Tom Jones, while on tour. He's, pretty much self-taught.
Yeah, that's I think that's cool and all about like that you're self-taught, but I think it's, to me, there's like this bad rap about going to music school or like learning from anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I went to music school. I went to MI. And I think people got to stop like discrimination against music school students.
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah, they work hard, damn it.
Yeah, it doesn't make you special because you learn by somebody else. Because he learned on tour, which is basically being like at some type of music school, I think so.
Yeah, maybe even like that's probably the best form of music school, but you usually get there through work.
Yeah, so you have to already know some things, but like I think you learn from everybody, even like CDs, lyrics. Like you have to learn the lyric from somebody else, and that's how you get better at lyrics. Yeah. Right, or whatever. And listening to a song is like going to music school. Yeah. Like you're studying. So I think like no matter what, except if like I think we talked about this before, if you're a caveman that just discovered music, you went to some sort of music school. Yeah. But like people are like, yeah, I didn't go to music school. That's cool, but I think it depends on the artist itself. No matter where you get your knowledge from, you get it from somewhere else. Right. Yeah. So I think you don't have to be ashamed if you go to music school or whatever. Yeah. A teacher is a teacher no matter what. The cool thing about music school too is consistency. Like consistency is the main thing of growth. Yeah. So like any form of going back to it daily and doing it and shedding and reading about it or keep doing it. If you do that at home or at school, that's the cool thing about music school, as I was saying, is it makes sure you are consistent and you're still doing it, which is what we need to do. Yeah, and like unlike me, you didn't really go to music school. You learned here and there. But I went to music school, and then I showed you the shit I knew. Yeah. So it's kind of like that's where it goes. Like people learn from other people, and that's the same thing. Like when I went to MI, all I remember is that there was so much things that you learned that I actually had to take a year off school to actually practice all of that crap. Yeah. Like it's insane. Like you learn so much things. And there's like people that went to my school that you wouldn't believe went to my school. Yeah. Like Jeff Buckley, he went to GIT, MI, and for guitar. and there's no way in hell, there's no other guitar player that plays like him or sings like him.
Yeah.
And he went to a music school.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, because people think it's like, oh, you walk into a music school, you come out like a clone of that school. It depends on the artist.
Yeah.
And like how you use the knowledge.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it just shows that someone like Jeff Buckley, he just loved music that much. He was willing to give his time to professionals to help him make it sick, you know, even on a different aspect, a guitar or whatever. That's so cool. And I went to like after school programs. I had like 0 period orchestra and like trombone. And that was the best time ever. And I had like summer programs with CAPSA, LAUSD and stuff. Like that was when I learned what like Zappa was and like shit like that. I was like, oh, music can be like crazy and shit. So music school, I think, is super necessary to like a real extent, you know. Try to have like a teacher, at least for a moment, you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about people who didn't go to music school. I'm just saying, like, don't look down on people that went to music school. There's like a joke at MI, like you can go on tour and with a band and no one will ever say that they went to MI. Yeah. Like it's going to be one drunk night where like the guitar player tells the bass player like, dude, I went to MI. And then the bass player's like, dude, me too. And the drummer's like, me too. Like a bunch of people went to music school, but we're all hiding it.
Yeah, whispering.
You know? Yeah, just let us know in the comments below if you guys think music school or not. Yeah. I say both.
Yeah, why not? Do both.
Yeah. But let's move on because it's time for Mitch Perry!
Mitch! What's up, Mitch? Oh my god, it's so great to like see you so many, I feel like a year or more.
It's been way too long, man, and I gotta tell you, I just watched you. I watched the cover of the Van Halen song. You did a great job, dude. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Oh man, thanks. It was a very last minute thing, but it was super fun. I just happened to be there at the right time.
You know, do you know that girl Tatiana who's been doing a bunch of stuff there? She's been a good friend of ours down here, and she's actually been singing in MPG with us when we do live stuff.
Oh, killer. Oh, wow. Small world. Yeah, Tatiana's very awesome.
Yeah, I love the music box. It's so awesome. Wow. Like every song keeps you like entranced.
Thank you for saying, you know, one of the intents when I did the record was, to me, record making, you know, especially during the 80s, had kind of gone from being that experience where you'd put on headphones and listen to a whole record, like what I used to do when I was a kid in the 70s. It had left that and it had gone, we go for the 3 big singles, the third one's a ballad, and you can do whatever the rest of the album is, you know, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Nobody really worried about it, but it changed the way people listen to albums over time because you stopped paying attention to every song. I remember when I was a kid and I was, you know, really getting into music. I mean, I'd put on an album the same way somebody puts on a movie. And I would feel like I'd missed a part of it if I skipped a song. Unless I really hated the song. You know, I'd want the whole experience. So either I was musical or I had OCD. I don't know which it was, but you know, I wanted that to be a feeling that people came away with this record. I mean, there were songs like, you know, obviously some of them are brand new and some of them are actually, you know, 10, 15 years old. And I could record you 2 more albums.
Wow.
Right now, I've got so many songs. Yeah. And I mean, you know, songs of the quality of Believe. I mean, you know, I mean, and I didn't want to do an album just full of that stuff because that'll get old. I wanted it to be an album that you didn't get bored on after 3 or 4 songs and want to change. So to hear you say that, you know, that's the ultimate compliment because that's what we were hoping to do. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's you succeeded. I'm one of those guys that likes to listen to albums too. I grew up like on Zeppelin and Deep Purple, and I just remember a story when like Deep Purple was at the recording studio and they were like, "Hey, we need a single," and they're like, "No, we're a record band. We write a record." And then they got super fucked up, and then they woke up the next day, and the A&R guy's like, "Hey, you wrote a single," and that was Black Knight, which just means nothing. It's just they were so drunk when they recorded it. It just sounds like the lyrics are complete bullshit. And they're like, "Yeah, you got a single." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like they didn't even know.
You know what though? This is one of the funniest things. And I remember when I first came out here. I mean, you'd meet somebody who had a job at Warner Brothers or Geffen, and they were part of the A&R department. Yeah. It felt like you were meeting God. This guy's going to change my life. Yeah. They're just a bunch of clowns who are lucky to get a job. Yeah. So that takes me back to all the A&R guys, and they'll tell you, "Oh man, I can hear a hit. I know a hit when I hear one." Mm. Yeah. And you hear that from everybody who works in A&R, which leaves me trying to figure out how come there are so many songs out that aren't hits. Wow. Yeah. Whoa. I mean, nobody knows what a hit is. Yeah. So it's out of the park.
Yeah. And then everyone copies it. Yeah. Like that's literally what happens. Yeah. So you were talking about when you were a kid. How did you become you? Like how did you start like becoming like the musical genius you are?
It started long before I played guitar, I can tell you that. My dad raced cars when I was a kid, and I traveled all over the country with him, and I'd be stuck in the back seat of the tow car, which wasn't a lot of room to sit, for 7, 8-year-old kid. Yeah. So I had basically my race car books, a couple of race cars, and the radio. Yeah. And we drive across the country. But there is not a song from the 1960s that I don't know or that I haven't heard of. I mean, it's like I was into it. I was so tuned into it without even realizing it. And both my parents loved music. I mean, my first album was the Magical Mystery Tour when my dad got a second copy as a present. So I got, the old one. But, that was my first record, and that was what I was listening to at 6. Wow. And it's funny, like, there was a racetrack we used to race at out in Long Island called Bridgehampton. And we used to go to this bar. I was 6, 7 years old, but I'd get in because my dad was one of the racers. And we used to see this band, and they were incredible. And my dad told me it was the Rascals, which, grooving and all. I mean, they're incredible. But I didn't believe him. And sure enough, I read in their biography, they got signed out of playing this bar. And obviously is who. So I was seeing stuff like that at a really young age, and my parents would always take us out when they went out to hear music. So, I mean, long before I touched an instrument, I was really tuned into it. My mom was a little bit of a beatnik, so she played Puff the Magic Dragon stuff on the, we had a nylon strung guitar. Nice. And, there's a show in England. We moved to London in 1971 because my dad was racing over there. And there's a show in England called Top of the Pops. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The funny thing is, I played with Sweet. Sweet was the first band I saw on Top of the Pops, and I remember it like yesterday. I remember calling my parents into their room to see this wacky band. Yeah. But
that's crazy.
It was weird because I would pick up the guitar and play along with the songs. And obviously, I wasn't playing along with the songs. But I had enough of a feel to kind of hit the notes close enough to, your hand instinctually kind of knows whether it wants to go higher or lower, that stuff. So my mom went out and got me a Beatles songbook, and I learned, all my first stuff was learning those 50s Beatles songs, learning chords off of that. And for the first year or two that I played, it was all acoustic stuff I learned. It was like Beatles, it was Crosby, Stills, and Nash, America. I mean, and then, then the Rain song showed up, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was a Zeppelin fanatic, and that was it.
Damn.
That's when, and at that point, I stopped thinking about the race cars so much and was just, I'd stare at that Zeppelin poster and I wanted to be Jimmy.
Oh, God, he didn't.
My two favorite guitar players growing up were Jimmy because, the music, and Michael Schenker for his playing. So it was wild that I got asked to play with Michael later because he literally was one of my favorite players when I was growing up.
Wow, God, full circle.
I love his stuff on UFO.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
brilliant.
Yeah, if you learn the UFO, like everything he did on UFO, you become a badass guitar player. That's all you need.
Absolutely. It's funny. When you do guitar interviews in Japan, there are probably CIA interrogations that are less brutal. Yeah. It's a Japanese interview or Guantanamo Bay.
You pick one.
So anyway, but they always ask you, how did you do this? How did you do that? And there are all these things, Michael, they'd ask him a UFO thing. I think I did. Michael, you did this. Yeah. It wasn't a UFO song I didn't know.
Damn. Yeah, UFO. That's my favorite, Michael. Yeah, I love that.
That's freaking awesome.
So, I've seen the video of you singing Jumping Jack Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Did you sing it on the album?
I sang the second verse.
Yeah, okay. So I thought I heard your voice in there. I'm like, yeah, you should have sang the whole thing.
No, I could have, but the fact is, because we have the three singers on the record already, I didn't need to confuse it even more. I decided to a little bit because I like the way I sang that second verse, but I just thought it made more sense. If Keith sonically was on the beginning, and he did a great job of it. It's funny for me, this was my version of like, what would Humble Pie do to Jack Flash? And it's the same thing with you'd have Steve Marriott play, and sing on one verse, and you have Frampton play and sing on the second one, and so hey, we didn't mean to, but we copied it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, have you thought about ever doing an album of you just singing your own stuff?
Oh, I did, and decided the world didn't need to hear it.
I think it'd be great. I always like seeing it, and when I saw your performance of it on the jams, it was fucking beautiful.
Thank you for saying. The thing about that, and this is something, I learned a lot when I started to become, when I started to sing a bit. I learned so much. Because you take a lot, being just a guitar player, hey, I'm the lead guitar player, you think you're all important, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure the drummer thinks he's just as important. We all do.
Yeah.
But the fact is, when you sing, you learn it's all on your shoulders. It's up to you to carry the show. No matter what's going on, no matter what's fucking up with
No, you can.
It's cool. You can curse.
Absolutely.
Derek's a little young, but it's all right. We'll tell him to cover his
Going wrong, around you, how the audience is, it's on you. I mean, and you have to, if you're really going to be, someone worth coming to see, it's more than just getting up there and screaming into a microphone. You have to have a vision of what you want to put across, who you want to be, how you want people to hear, to see the songs. I mean, I know Derek knows this.
Oh, it's so cool. It's great to hear you talk about it.
So you realize really quickly how serious you are, because it's a lot of work.
Right.
It's a ton of work. I mean, I got to a point with my singing where I'm going, I could do this. But I then also realized when I'm singing, I'm having to use so much of my brain to do that properly that I'm giving up a lot of the guitar. and I go, I'm a pretty good guitar player. Why become a mediocre guitar player to become a mediocre singer?
Oh,
man.
And that's kind of when I said, I think I'm just going to find the guys to do it.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, there's enough music out there. If we're not doing the stuff that's really, really good, I mean, we don't need to be doing it.
Wow. That's well put. That's you might as well go full 100%, make it badass as much as it can.
Exactly.
Damn. And you did, and oh man, I saw the video for Believe, and the video itself is cinematic. I love how it looks, and were you done with this whole record? Did you record and finish it this year?
Man, okay, first off, video to Believe, the day, what was it, March 23rd? Was that the day they told us we had to stay home?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Look at the day that Believe was put on YouTube.
No way.
Oh, yeah. That was the day we got our albums. We got our...
What?
We got everything back from the mastering lab.
Whoa.
We were press everything up. We were planning shows. We were going to do the whole thing. And all of a sudden, we're stuck.
Whoa.
Nothing to... I mean, what are we going to do? And I'm sitting here, and I thought about the words to Believe. Now that's a ballad. That's not going to be a band's first single ever. We were going to put out St. Valentine first.
Yeah.
Right.
But I called Ian. I said, Ian, listen. Just listen to the words to Believe, one line at a time. I read it. I read it. I wrote it so it could be, something that, it sounds like I'm talking about being on the road, but it's really metaphoric. It can be about anything, and I gotta believe. I just gotta make it. It can be about anything, which is what you want a song to be, Yeah. So everyone can relate to it. So, I mean, I listen to these words. I go, Ian, this is telling the story. This is telling what's going on right now. I said, can we take the footage, because he had shot all the footage that you see of us playing.
Yeah.
We had shot that all for the EPK that we were doing.
Wow.
So I said, let's take the EPK footage. And then, we belong to a couple of, movie houses where you license, B-rolls, to fill in scenes and stuff.
Right.
So let's do a little creative editing of things like that. And, but line by line, find the shot that works. And he put that together in 3 days.
Damn. Boom.
Yeah.
And it's so prophetic. It talks about, I mean, I never thought COVID would be this big, when it happened at March. I was like, this is not, but it's the biggest thing, a part of our lives right now.
Oh, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened. But, I'll tell you, as it goes on, I've got so many. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Usually are what they appear to be. Little twists, but this, I don't think it is. I think there are some really horrible people in high places and across all sorts of borders. This is not a political thing. So please, nobody out there take it as such. But there are people who have just taken what is a very horrible situation and utilize the fact. I mean, we have the internet now. I've come up with this theory. I go, before the internet, the only people who really knew what were going on were the ones who were reading the newspapers. So that was only about 40% of the people. 60%. We didn't know how dumb they were. We didn't care. Well, we now know because they're all on the internet.
Yeah, and I think the percentage of people that are reading the newspaper got smaller.
But I mean, I honestly wonder how much the internet has played into the hype. And I mean, believe me, the disease is real, the disease is evil, and it's horrible, and I have personal friends who have perished from it. So I am not saying for 1 second that it's hype. What I am saying is people who should be taking care of us went the other way when this happened. And I don't have a clue what it is they're doing or why they're doing it. Because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but things are just too strange and too whacked. I mean, perfectly healthy people, who drop dead a week later. That doesn't make sense. And then when you see things like what happened at the White House or football games or whatever protests you felt you had to attend, and you don't, it makes no sense. There's no continuity to how things are happening or what's happening. So, I mean, at that point, you just have to be as safe as you can. You have to wear a mask. You have to be smart. Because you don't know any better. And you're a liar if you say you do.
I think this year, just with the internet and also like COVID and everything that's happened, it just made the human race more like, it just fucked with us. Just like our mental capacity.
Well, I mean, hey, look at it this way. Pretend go back to when you were a little kid and you were sick. How easy was it for your mom to keep you in bed all day when you stay home from school? All right, you get to stay home from school, but you got to stay in bed and get better all day. You wanted to be everywhere but that bed.
Because we were faking it.
The whole world is sick. And nobody wants to stay in bed.
Now I'm afraid to cough. Like if I cough and I'm outside, people might beat me up or something. It's crazy.
Coughing's the new farting.
It wasn't me, it was him.
That's a good one.
I'm fucking coughing now.
Mitch, you gotta have like a t-shirt line, man. You gotta have put out different shirts and bumper stickers.
It says music box, coughing is the new. Derek was telling me that he loves your tone whenever you guys play at the Dam. You have the freaking best tone.
It's the best tone in the entire freaking every show, out of everyone's tone. I don't know, and we're all using the same rig essentially. I'm like,
well, no, I mean, I keep my Marshall on Tuesdays. I have my Marshall there, and the only reason I don't let everyone use it, I did for a while, and it was getting beat up. So I stopped bringing it. but then I stopped having fun.
Yeah.
So I went, listen, I hate to, because I don't like to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to let you use my stuff. But if I let
Everyone.
2 of my friends use it, well, then I'm going to be a jerk because I don't know everybody and I'm not going to let everyone use it.
Yeah.
But going to the tone thing, the biggest single thing I ever learned, life-changing moment, was playing with Michael Schenker.
Oh.
Yeah.
And up until that point, I was still one of those guys who, when I played guitar, you know, I could rip, I could shred, but my tone, I needed to get my magic tone. I mean, why does Eddie sound like Eddie?
Yeah.
You know, you listen to Michael, and man, listen to the crunch he's got there. And so anyway, we were on tour with Whitesnake, and we had one room for Michael and I to share to do our warm-up before our show. And so there was only enough room for one Gallion-Kruger amp. Do you remember what those Gallion-Kruger little metal amps about this big?
Yeah.
They were really great sounding, like for playing quiet and having tons of sustain, but they were so compressed. I mean, you could stick anything in it and it's going to sound the same.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that Michael would be playing there on his Flying V, and he'd sound like you're listening to the great Michael Schenker.
Yeah.
And then I'd plug my guitar in and play, and where'd Michael go? It's Perry. Yeah. Yeah. Why did it sound like that? And I just got to get a guitar that sounds like that Flying V. And I went in one day when Michael wasn't in the room, but the Flying V was. And that was the eye-opening moment. That was when I learned about life. I picked up that guitar, hit it. It didn't sound half as good as my guitar.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
So what's the difference here?
Yeah.
I knew it.
All here. And that's why these guys sound like they sound. It's all out of your hands. And that's every note you play, man. You know, there's no such thing in my mind as a wasted note. You know, you really have to put it all into everything, and you know, that's how you get that tone.
Oh man, you just gave me goosebumps right now. I was hoping that I was seriously like wanting to ask you for years, like how you get your tone. And then now I know. Like
you could come up anytime and anytime.
Cool. So if we steal his hands,
then we
have your tone.
We have the tone.
And that's, you know, I mean, I find that even in recording records now, you know, now that I'm producing, you know, I produce Music Box, and you know, for a long time I wasn't confident of my competence to produce, and now I am. But what I think and is missing in so many things is you got to have that vision of what you want to accomplish, what you want to make your guitar sound like. I mean, what you want your record to sound like. I mean, it doesn't, you know, things happen by accident, you know, and it's magic and it's cool, but that happens here and there. That's not the way it works, you know. You have to have that vision, and you know, like I said, whether that vision is the song, whether that vision is the arrangement, or whether that vision is the way you're going to play every note like Eddie. I mean, I listen to the way Eddie plays his guitar tracks, and man, there's some sort of genius behind everything he's playing. You know, once again, there's not a wasted note. There's an element of cool to everything he's doing, whether it's rhythmic, it doesn't have to be a big lick, whether it just happens to be the placement of a chord or where he starts a phrase. It's all these little things, but that's what add up to those great players.
Wow. Damn. Yeah, I always figured out that like these great players like Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen, we're always like worried about like, we want to learn Eruption or the Star Spangled Banner, the crazy lead stuff, but their rhythm stuff might even be harder than their lead stuff once you get to it, if you really want to do it right.
Rhythm is 100 times harder than lead. Rhythm, I mean, first off, rhythm, I'm so glad I learned how to play on acoustic first, because I did learn how to play rhythm. And I think having a strong right hand is way more important than having a left hand, because that's where you play the guitar with. All your dynamics, hard, soft, do we play in the middle of the neck, or do we play by the, by the bridge? All these things we can do to alter the tone before we're even hitting, we can do. Damn, why am I spacing on this again? What were we saying?
Or rhythm guitar?
Oh, about rhythm guitar playing. And there's 3 times I've done that today, and we have not hit the bong, I promise.
Not yet.
But no, with rhythm playing, for me, I mean, you listen to any great band, and what makes them great, is the way they play together, and the rhythm of the guitar. People, they don't pay enough attention to that. They hit power chords, or they don't really worry about the way they pedal eighths. But man, it's like, if I'm playing eighth notes, every one of those notes is playing a kick or playing a snare, or it's doing something, and I'm making sure I line up with who I'm playing with, and it's locked like that. And those, those, it's not that it's harder, it's just overlooked, because it's a lot more fun to run around and play and do all this wild stuff. I mean, things like, GIT, obviously it's great because you get to learn so much, anything like that. But for me, it would have been so horrible, because all I would have done is spend all day looking at the kid next to me, blowing me away, going, how's he doing that? And you know what I mean? And when you first see Eddie, I actually learned how to do all that tapping stuff in 1975. I was jamming with a drummer from New Orleans, played with this guitar player who did this tapping trick. And so he showed it to me, and he showed it to me on a B string. So he's 5th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, so you're E, G, A. That's a typical regular riff we can play, just picking it, right? I can smoke on that. Doing this, I feel like a fool. Stupid trick. No one needs it. Never thought of it again. Now, remember, Van Halen comes out, and we didn't have, we didn't have MTV. We didn't have music videos. We didn't have anything to show us what he was doing. We had to listen to the record with the turntable turned to 16 and try to figure out how the hell he was hitting those notes.
Damn.
And that trick came back to, I'm like playing the first 2 ones, like regular, can't get to the third one. And I get to that third version, and I go, whoa, wait a minute. I remember the trick that guy showed me. All right, I got this down. So man, I was doing all this Van Halen stuff before anyone else on our block.
God.
And I was really lucky. The band that I played with was called The Kids. And we played a place called the Tight Squeeze Club that if you were a band that was recording at Criteria or playing a concert at the Sportatorium, like all bands do, you go, okay, where are we going to party after?
Yeah.
You come to where we played. And so, I mean, during the summer of '79, I got to meet the guys from AC/DC when they were doing Highway to Hell. I got to jam with Bon Scott.
Oh, yeah, I love Bon Scott. He's my favorite. When I read that, I was like losing my mind.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, that whole summer was like that. And that's kind of how I got my gig out here. Is Pat Thrall, who played with Pat Travers at the time. They were in all the time because they actually lived down there, so they'd come home between gigs. And Thrall and I became really good friends, and he got me my first real gig. I got flown out by Alphonso Johnson from Weather Report in 1980 to do my first record.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm 18 years old. I haven't even recorded myself on a cassette recorder.
Wow.
And I'm in the studio with Alfonso. Vinny Appice is the drummer.
Wow.
Playing, can you play more with the kick? And I'm like, nodding, sure. What's a kick?
Damn. Oh my God.
But I was really lucky in how that all happened. But one of the things that Pat told me is he stopped me right then and there. He says, that tapping is great, but cut it out. Stop doing it. You're going to look like every other guitar player in LA.
Damn.
And you know what? He was right. I got out here and I'd stopped doing it. But then I played with Tallis and Billy Sheehan.
Yep.
And you'll have to be a one-armed guitar player to play on stage, look at what Billy's doing, and not go, how do you do that?
Yeah. Damn, that's a good point.
So that got me into tapping again.
Yeah. Damn, man. Oh.
Yeah, we talked to Billy, and he was talking about how he learned, and he's always like, everybody keeps saying Eddie Van Halen, but he's always talking, it's always Billy Gibbons.
Oh yeah, Billy Gibbons.
Yeah, he got it from Billy Gibbons.
Really?
Yeah.
So the story goes.
That's funny. I always heard the first person I realized did it was Brian May. Did it in that song "It's Late."
Oh.
Off of News of the World.
Oh wow! I gotta hear that.
Listen to the solo in "It's Late," and you'll hear where he does it.
Oh wow!
Fuck yeah.
Yep. And then, but Harvey Mandel was known for doing it. Eddie took it to, Eddie took everything to a new level.
Yeah.
It's funny, I mean, you got to realize I came out here in 1980. So had that not happened, I probably would have been an Eddie Van Halen clone, because I would have learned every single thing Eddie did.
Yeah.
But coming out here and trying to make my own records, then now I'd be listening to Mean Streets and wanting to learn that trick, but I can't do that. I'm just going to look like, I can't do that. So you still try and learn it, so but I mean, like, I see all the guys who come into Ultimate Jam, and I'll throw the Van Halen songs to other people, not because it's because I respect them so much. I don't feel like I give them the service that they deserve, because you really have to work hard to sound like that and do it right. It's not just like picking up a song and hitting the right chords in the right place. It's a whole whole different way of thinking, rhythmically and everything that he does. It just sets him apart.
Yeah.
Sounds so unique to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I first heard Eruption, to me, I said this before, it sounded like a bunch of animals. Like it's a fucking elephant and a tiger and lions, like all of these different things. So to be able to play Eddie Van Halen like he plays, you have to play like a beast. Like you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there are some guys who do some amazing impersonations of him. Yeah, I mean, and it can be done. But at the end of the day, no matter how perfect you get it, you're only ever going to be number 2.
Yeah. That's so true.
That's why you'll never hear. Yeah, I'll always avoid a Van Halen song if I can, and I never want to mess with a Stevie Ray Vaughan song.
Oh God!
What are you gonna do to a Stevie Ray Vaughan song that he ain't done 100 times better?
Yeah. Oh my God! Stevie would even play it simpler sometimes, and it would just be way better.
I mean, once again, he's one of those magic guys. No, he's not playing blues licks. There's some magic being out there that channels himself through him, and I mean, when he plays, it's coming from another world.
Yeah.
It's not even like watching someone play guitar in front of you.
Yeah. Guys, you might as well spend all that time being yourself. Don't try to be someone else or try to get them. Just do you and spend that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, final five.
All right, the final 5. Here it is. Number 1. What is the most, you kind of, for me you answered this, but you could even say it again. The most important piece of gear, secret weapon, while on tour or in the studio or wherever. Yep, I knew it! That's it!
Take care of these.
Yep.
You'll be able to make everything else work.
Damn. Boom.
Damn. Okay, number 2, what is your most memorable or story from the road?
Crazy story or memorable.
Well, you see, this is a trick question.
Yeah.
Because my most memorable story from the road, I can't remember a thing about it.
That's it. Yeah.
It's a riddle.
Okay, I can give you this is a good one. And it fits in perfect with the answer I just gave you. Talking about great guitar players, Brian May is in my list of top 5 just magicians.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a friend in London who our families became friends when we were there in 1971, and she's 5 years younger than me. She was my little sister's best friend. So every year I've gone back to England, I always call up their family, and she's come out to every show. I mean, still in touch and everything. And I was there last in 2017, and I hear her talking to someone, and she's talking about how nice Brian May is, and what a cool guy. I go, wow, aren't you impressive? I sure would have liked to meet Brian May.
Yeah.
She looks at me. You're kidding, right? I said, no, I love Brian May's playing. She goes, you're kidding, right? Now what? She goes, you were with me. It was when you played Wembley. We were at the bar with him for 2.5 hours, and he wouldn't let you go.
Oh, God.
I don't have a clue.
Oh, my God, dude. Oh.
Damn.
Dang. He wouldn't leave. Yeah, you're just, come on, Mitch. Damn. It's probably Brian's most memorable time.
I mean, and you know what's so funny too is I know as soon as she said that, I almost can immediately tell you exactly what I said to him, because I had done a project with Paul Raymond, the keyboard player for UFO. And Paul had some funny Brian stories because they were friends. And so he goes, if you ever go up to Brian, if you ever meet Brian, just ask him about his tomato garden. And he'll talk to you for the rest of the night.
Jesus.
That's so weird. That's crazy.
I think that's the name of the episode.
Tomato garden?
No, Brian May's Tomato Garden with Mitch Perry.
Number three is one of my favorite ones. What are your tips for songwriting?
Ooh. Okay. This may sound simple, and it is in theory, but it's a lot harder to do in practice. Mm-hmm. And what that tip would be is to simplify your songwriting. Stop writing so damn much.
Yeah.
Now, what I mean by that, I'll give you a perfect example. We don't even need, I can use this guitar with a broken string because we only need one note.
Yeah.
But okay, have I bored you yet? Anyone know what song that is? Because I just played the entire song.
Oh, I don't know. It sounds like a Motown song.
Almost, but not quite.
Oh, damn it.
I don't know. I feel like
Arthur, what song is that?
No, he doesn't hear it.
Here you go. Na da da da, na da da da, na da 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 da. You love me, you hate me, you love me, and then makes no difference what I am in. I'm everyday people. Okay.
Yeah, everyday.
This entire song, there's 82 parts to it, right?
Yeah.
There's a verse, there's a pre-chorus, there's a chorus, there's a bridge.
Yeah.
One.
Damn.
One note. So that's what I mean. Simplify. I'm not saying play stupid changes to it, but sometimes, we just throw so many things in because we're creative, and this, wow, look at how cool this, changes. I gotta get rid of this thing here. Hold on. Boom. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So my point is, you don't have to come up with a new chord change, or you don't always have to write another bridge, or, the same way they tell you to simplify your guitar solos. Same thing. Where can we trim the fat?
Right.
And I usually find that's the biggest help to cleaning up a song. Biggest help. Have a good sense of melody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, simplifying the structure, or not the structure, whatever, the instrumental can really open new doors. I can see what you mean. It opens like a whole vast, where you can take that little part, that one little note.
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all contrasts.
Yeah.
I look at the speaker as like it's a sheet of paper, and I mean, we can draw a lot of lines on that sheet of paper, but if we draw too many lines, it just becomes a black piece of paper instead of a white piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to leave that contrast.
Yeah.
That's what makes it all sound special.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we almost we almost beat ourselves up for no reason, trying to make things bigger or more powerful. Sometimes it's I mean, it's a common saying, less is more, but if used right, it is. I have my smart ass answer. You can play one note as devoid of feel as you can play 100 notes.
Yeah.
You got to have that too, but
Fuck yeah.
Oh man, genius. Awesome.
Yeah. Number 4. So what is your favorite lick or technique that has helped your playing? So if you had like a lick or technique that might have brought your playing to a new...
Favorite lick or technique? You know what? I can't really come up with one thing. There's an echoplex trick that Pat Thrall taught me. It's the same thing like Eddie does it in Cathedral.
Yeah.
Warren DeMartini did it at the beginning of Dance, Dance, Dance. The Edge does it a lot.
Yeah.
YouTube. But that was a really, really, really cool trick to learn, because to make it work, your rhythm has to be perfect. Because if you're getting out of sync with the echoplex, it doesn't, it doesn't let you get away with it. So that was a cool trick to learn, because I think it made my playing tighter as a whole, because I really became really, really conscious. Because I wasn't a learned guitar player where I counted 1, 2, 3, and all that stuff. Which, as much as it's boring and horrible, and I wouldn't want to do it again if I had to. It's what you should do. It'll make you better.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, that's a badass trick. Yeah, I learned that too. I think it's like dotted 8 or something on a delay. But yeah, it's super hard to get under your fingers. But once you're in it, you feel really good. And then you feel really good, then you get out of it, and then it sounds like shit again.
Well, no, but that's exactly what I'm saying. That feel, when you're feeling it, and it's feeling good because it's in the pocket.
Yeah.
That's why, you got it in the pocket and it's just floating. Well, dude, that pocket doesn't go away if you turn that off. If you keep that pocket going, it changes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go away.
Yeah. Oh. That means I got to practice more. That's what that means.
I want to learn that lick. Oh, man. Oh, God. Okay, so
this is the final 5.
The last question, 5th final. What is the best advice you could give a musician or a person or anyone looking to do what you do?
Love what you do. I mean, honestly, the amounts I've had an amazing career, and I've been so fortunate to play with so many amazing musicians. I mean, so in no way misconstrue this as a complaint or anything, but there's always more that I want. There's, hey, right now I want, Music Box to be the biggest album in the world, and I want to be touring that, So all of this great stuff that's come is like, well, yeah, nice, but I want that. Yeah. And I guess I say that because it doesn't always happen. And so you're always, no matter who, the Beatles were turned down by every label. You're going to be faced with disappointment. You're going to be faced with the word no. You're going to be told by people who don't know shit that you should be doing anything else but playing guitar. Mm-hmm. And none of that should matter. Mm-hmm. Because if the only reason you do it is because you love it and you're creating things that fulfill you, all that other stuff's going to come.
Yeah.
But you won't be disappointed, ever.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it and you always love it.
Oh. Yeah, that's awesome.
Fuck, man. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Bye, Mitch! Yeah! That was badass!
Thank you, Mitch Perry.
Yeah, it's so awesome, so inspirational. You fucking kill it, dude.
Yeah, man. And thank you for sharing your secrets.
Yeah, and everybody go down to the links below. Go to his YouTube and subscribe. Go to Spotify. Just follow him everywhere. MitchPerry.com. It's fucking badass. He's amazing.
Yes, and listen to the new album, Music Box, out everywhere.
Yeah, and please, everybody, like and subscribe.
Yes, all of your likes and subscriptions would definitely help. And thank you once again to Lewitt Microphones, the most crisp-sounding, amazing microphone ever. Hell yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.